today sitting down across the desktop with Brianna Irwin, who is the founder and visionary for the Local Doe. So, Brianna, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. What a pleasure.
I think this is going to be, one of my my most enjoyable,
All right,
podcasts.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
and it should be.
Yeah.
We're
partners.
We're partners, and although I'm the minor partner, and I love that because you do it so dang well.
Thank you.
And Jackie and I talk about it all the time that we don't have to think about it. We don't have to try and protect it. Mm-hmm. In fact, what I have to learn to do after so many years of feeling like I did is I got cramps in my hands for holding onto the reins.
Yeah.
And now I don't have to.
It's a good feeling for sure.
Oh gosh.
My hands are nice and cramped for you.
Yeah, you cramp, and I'll release.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you own the Local Doe Coffee House. Mm-hmm. Which I remember we talked about that name at the very beginning.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do the Local Dough.
Which is also a great name. Yeah.
Very creative.
Yeah.
You said Local Doe, and I was thinking, oh, that's a great name. Mm-hmm. And then you said, no, we don't want people to think it's a bakery.
Right. If it was a bakery, perfect.
Be perfect,
yes.
Right? But it's actually Local Doe, Doe a deer.
Yep.
And
female deer.
Tell me the journey. Tell me about, who is Brianna Irwin first? Who are you?
Well, I am a wife, a mother, stay-at-home mom previously, and I was just needing more. I was somebody who had dreams and things I wanted to do, but didn't feel like the time frame that I was in was a time that was time to be selfish or pursue my dreams. It felt like a time to buckle in and be at home, but I realized the longer I was there, housed within, I call it a frat house because I've got 4 little boys.
Yeah, now, how old?
They are 6, 3, and then twins who are 20 months old. So it's a lot going on.
Which still amazes me.
It's a lot of diapers, a lot of testosterone. Mm-hmm. Everyone smells stinky already. And I'm like, I can't even fathom what happens when they turn into little teenagers and are actually stinky. So I'm scared.
Yeah.
I won't be able to allow people in my home anymore, I'm sure, at that point.
You just spend a lot more time here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've created a space I want to be.
That's right. Yeah.
And
smells like coffee and bread.
Yeah. Say no more.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I was just I had that nag and that yearning for something more. And it wasn't something that I felt like I could truly pursue because I grew up in the foundation of mom stays at home if at all possible. And she runs the house and that's beautiful. And I love that. And I had the privilege of doing that for years, but I realized my cup was empty, and I had a very hard postpartum time with my twins.
Sure.
Because my middle child was only,
2,
barely
right?
a year old when they were born. So it was just really hard to move through that headspace, and I think when I did some self-work and I realized I just felt unfulfilled.
Yeah.
And so that was, my brain wanted something more. And then the Lord literally placed this in my lap, and it felt like an opportunity that could not say no to. And so it made it an easier transition to start working outside of the home.
I love that story because your husband, Brandon, had become a good friend of mine, through a study that we had together here at Desktop. And he hadn't been here for a year.
Yeah.
He hadn't been for a year because of the twins.
I was holding him hostage.
Yeah. And no one was sleeping. And you're not leaving.
Yeah.
You're not leaving me.
If I'm not sleeping, you're not leaving.
That's right. And then he came back. Mm-hmm. And you talk about the Lord provided it. That morning, I was asking the group to pray about another partner that has several restaurants in the area. And he was considering it. And I said, I need to pray about this. And Brandon happened to hear that. And he said the hair stood up on the back of his neck. Mm-hmm. He left. He had, a doctor's appointment. Then he ran home. And what did he tell you when he came home?
I remember the conversation clear as day. We were in our little playroom, and he was sitting on our little nugget couch. And he starts telling me about the conversation that you had shared and, looking for prayer and discernment on how to handle the next steps. And he said, "She sounds like something you would love." And I was like, I would not love anything more. If you could say you can do anything in the world, what do you want to do? This would be it. And so I just got so excited. And I think coming from that headspace and then seeing my enthusiasm just like at the drop of a hat, Brandon was like, great. Why don't you talk to Dave? You know, he was so encouraging because he had seen, you know, how I was feeling and knew I was feeling complacent in our situation. And he was like, great. Even if nothing comes of it, have the conversation and just see what happens. And so it, you know, it spiraled from there real quick.
Well, we met that afternoon.
Yeah, that afternoon, like real quick.
It was like 2:30 that afternoon. He talked to you at 11 or something, and we met at 2:30.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, I was hesitant.
Yeah.
Because
you should have been. That was good. Good on your part.
That was my, you know, my insecurity more than, because I'm thinking, here's this woman, you know, she seems great, very accomplished, and, you know, very enthusiastic, but she's got 4 boys under 6 at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's more than a full plate. That's overflowing plate with activity.
I was trying to escape my plate.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, you see, you didn't say that, which you held it back. That was great.
Yeah.
But
you got to know when to show your cards.
Right. That's right. And I was probing. You know, do you really think you can do this? And the thing I love about you, I had never met you before. I mean, I knew Brandon, love Brandon. Who doesn't love Brandon?
Yeah.
You know, but I really wanted to try and dig down, you know, into what this thing was, or what it might be. I didn't want you to jump in and fail in 3 months because your kids weren't taken care of, you know, and then that'd been a train wreck. But God, somewhere in the equation, said, this is them. I called an established restaurateur that afternoon and said, I'm going to have to pull the plug. I found my partner.
Aww.
And he said, I didn't say who you were, but I said what the situation was. Young couple, you know, already kind of entrepreneurial with what Brandon does with the rental properties and the farm. And he said, Dave, that's perfect. That is the right person. Because I would treat it as a business.
Yeah.
They are going to treat it, you know, as more than a business, as something that is an extension of their family.
It truly, yes.
Yeah. And so you came in end of July, 1st of August last year.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So, you know, I just kind of started popping in at the end of August or at the beginning of August and just kind of got a feel for it and what it was. And it kind of gave me time to get back into the barista ropes. And
you had been a barista when?
In my early 20s, post-college. And it was always my favorite job I had ever had. You know, and I had done some cool stuff, and I worked in television production, and I had done cool things, but still, what I would go back to, my favorite job was working at Starbucks because I got to be around people, around coffee. It's people are either getting to coffee because they want to treat themselves or they're having a down day and they need a little boost, or it's a stressed out, you know, woman or man, and they just like need it, just being like that bench point of like a turnaround moment, you know, which I think that's like everyone needs that like thing. And I loved being a part of that person's day. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, I mean, I think that's it.
Yeah.
You had something to draw on from before. I had this experience 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But it wasn't yours. Yeah. It didn't have it was a Starbucks.
Yeah.
They told you where to put the bagels and how to arrange them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And so if they had bagels, I don't even go to Starbucks. I don't drink coffee. You know, I don't drink coffee.
You don't even drink coffee, yeah.
I don't even drink coffee. I don't partner in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
But, you know, so you know, we've got, and we hear it all the time from people who were coming to the Kennesaw Coffee Company. And we talked about that too. Do we keep it Kennesaw Coffee Company or do we change it?
Yeah.
And you convinced me we need to change it because it's got such a bad reputation and not a horrible reputation. It just wasn't a reputation of service. Yeah. It wasn't fast. It wasn't innovative. It was just, we have coffee here if you want some. Yeah. Type thing.
It was a bit of like a, you know, Barnes and Nobles have a standing like Starbucks associated shop, you know, and it's fine. It's fine, you know, but it doesn't give you the warm fuzzies or the familiarity of like a Cheers. Like that's like how I not that I ever watched Cheers, but like I know what it
was my
stands
era.
for. Yeah.
And you should watch it at night. It's actually really funny.
Okay, I should. I love it.
Put it on your list.
Yeah, put it on my list for sure. But that just or like, I guess a term that's like more like nowadays is like a third place. It's not your work, it's not your home, but it's a hangout. And that was what I wanted to create honestly, for myself. This is like all very selfish initially about what I wanted to see. Like, I just wanted to create the space I wanted to be in.
Like, what would you...
Yes.
If you could create a coffee shop that you could go visit, what would it look like?
Exactly. And that is definitely what I'm created and am still working towards here at the Local Doe. And it's been like the coolest passion project ever. And being able to see it play out is just like, I am just so beyond grateful and don't understand why I have been blessed with this opportunity, because it has been just like more than I ever could have imagined.
Well, to tell you the truth, it's more than I ever could have imagined.
Yeah. We are all shocked.
Well, we are, but when you look at the Legos and how they were placed, if you look back at the foundation, it was a foundation, that I think maybe you'd been thinking of, maybe God gave you. It was, the vibe. Where did that come from? Yeah. First thing we did is paint the whole place.
Yeah.
Into some warmer colors, because it was desktop gray.
It felt like a library.
Basically. It did.
No one is going to a library to hang out, to like chat with the bud, or to read a book. They're going to libraries for like a medicinal reason. You know what I mean? Like, you're going with a very significant, boring purpose. And so I wanted to create a spot that wasn't boring, but wasn't overwhelming. I wanted a place, it was really important to me that kids were welcome, because as somebody with lots of little kids, there's definitely places where I go into and I'm like, oh man, okay, this place is just not.
I'm really disturbing people.
I'm disturbing people. Yeah. And it's not that anyone is doing, it's not, and it's not an attitude that other people are projecting. It's just a feeling of this isn't a space for me. And so like that was a huge benchmark to me. Like, I want to create a space where moms with all of their littles can come in. And that's why the Kid Corner was so important. And hosting events monthly that are kid welcoming, maybe not always like kid centric, but like bring them on, that's what I wanted to create, because I didn't think we really had that in this area.
Of course, we've learned with events that sometimes we have to be careful what you ask for. Yeah. We kind of got stormed, on one of the events, but we won't talk about which one because we don't want the city to find out.
Yes, definitely. So, and there could be another one being planned.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring security in for that one.
Yeah, it was definitely another one of those like, oh my goodness moments where I'm like, Lord, thank you, but oh my word, and when the whole coffee shop opportunity presented itself, it was something that Brent and I really talked about, because I was like, hey, I need you to be fully on board to support me in this, because this is going to take some time away, and like, as most women are like typically the primary caregiver to the home. And really the home manager, not just the caregiver for the kids, but managing the home. Yeah, all the practices and all of the things. All of it, and so Brent and I just decided right then, like, our prayer is going to be like, if this is something we should pursue, make it easy. If we run into any roadblock, we say, never mind. We love the opportunity, but it's not the right time. And I think that would have been a very understandable response. Yeah. And I mean, I think that those who are closest to me were like, hey, that sounds really cool, but this doesn't seem good.
Are you sure?
Not that everyone was pessimistic about the opportunity, but I think everybody was guardedly apprehensive because they wanted the best for us, and everyone was like, no, but the Lord made it so easy that there was no reason. I couldn't even think of a reason to say no. It was so seamless, and that's how not that everything has been seamless, obviously, but the process has been a delight, and I think it's been definitely ordained, because nothing ever goes this smooth. And not that it's all smooth, but,
Well, there's always hiccups.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because people are involved.
Right. Yeah, we make mistakes.
We do. Yeah. We have our, what I call paradigms. Mm-hmm. Some place that we come from creates our paradigm for this moment.
Yeah.
And that, can create conflict, because like your paradigm is different than mine or Jackie's paradigm. Yeah. And so we have to meld the paradigms. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna take some red and some blue. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna create purple when it's over. But purple's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And so it works.
I think I'm colorblind, but I assume
most
that's true.
Men are.
Yeah. So you create. You really took over September 2nd of 2025.
Yeah, that was our first day.
There was like a month of training from the previous owner, who was very, very, I think, kind.
Oh, gosh, yes.
In the way he did that.
So classy and really he wanted to see the place succeed.
Be very successful. I think thinking the whole time, that it wasn't going to be really that much more successful than what he was.
Yeah.
You might be able to create a little bit more revenue, 10, 15, 20% more revenue. And what we've seen is a 400% increase in revenue.
Yeah, it's been unreal.
Yeah. What do you think the key to that was? Or keys?
I think some of it has been just going with your gut. Yeah. If you have something that's on your heart and it's nagging at you and you just feel like it's the right direction to go, I think you need to listen to that. And I think it's also having a good pulse on what people want and being in the community. And I was a part of a bunch of like Facebook groups and things like that. And I just feel like I understood the clientele that I was trying to reach
better than he did, probably at the time.
Right, yes.
Well, he was in his 50s.
Yeah.
When he started. I think he was 50 when he started, and that was 8 years ago, so he's pushing 60 now.
Yeah.
He's getting ancient like me.
Yeah. And, you guys don't know what's cool.
We don't know what's cool.
No.
Yeah, we knew what was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers. It was cool.
It's still cool.
Still cool.
You got to watch it.
I will. It was just like having a pulse on what people wanted and then creating it. And I, not to say like being impulsive is great, but I think sometimes there is a little bit of I don't know what the right word is. Like, I think sometimes there's something to just doing it. Like, and they say like, do it messy, like knee-jerk reaction. We went forward with it. I didn't put too much, I didn't let enough time pass to where doubt crept in.
Yeah.
It wasn't until probably around December where I was like, I don't think I can do this. This is too much. I think I was just like so focused on like, it's a good idea. Let's just run with it. And I think having quick action sometimes keeps you from getting into that analysis paralysis and like self-doubt where you like pump the brakes or you decide it's not a good idea, things like that. And I think that is maybe something somebody could glean from it is if you have something on your heart, you have some good ideas, just do it. Just do it. You'll figure it out. And if you don't, you fail. I mean, everybody fails.
What's the worst case scenario if you fail?
Right. At least you tried.
You get back up and you do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. My family, and you guys are learning this now, but my family, they know when I do this, I look up and to the left, they go, stop him.
Oh,
Stop
man,
him.
I'm starting to learn that look on you.
Yeah.
And it scares me. I'm like, wait.
Well, you mean the ice cream thing? We'll get there.
Yeah. We'll like, distract him over here. What's that?
But
break his train of thought.
But I think you're right, is when you feel it in your gut, do it. Get some advice if you can.
Yeah.
If there's people around.
Yeah, I'm not saying like, risk your family and home.
No.
But
don't let them, don't let them distract you from a vision that maybe God has given you.
Yeah, truly.
And so, because when you do, you miss out. You miss out, and you haven't done that. There was impulsiveness to it.
Yeah.
There had to be because, Thursday at 11, you hear there's an opportunity, and at 2:30, we're sitting down talking, and by 4 o'clock, we've come to an agreement.
Yeah.
In theory.
Right. Yeah.
And I know I walked away from that. It was also very impulsive for me. But I had been interviewing people who were established. So I thought I'm going to go with an established person this time.
They're safe. Yeah.
They've done it. They've been successful. And what I end up with is Brianna.
Yeah. Never owned a business. Worked in coffee almost 20 years ago.
That's right. And I'd like to do this. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But it's right.
Yeah.
This is right. And if it fails, then okay, big deal.
Yeah.
You've created some kind of creative things here at the Doe. Buckets is one. How did you come up with buckets? Buckets of coffee.
Buckets of coffee. Yeah. It was the appropriate increment that I needed. And
you needed 34 ounces of caffeine.
I needed it. Yeah, no, it was a need, not a want. No, I saw the idea like a couple years prior somewhere. I don't even recall. So it wasn't my idea, But I saw it and I was like, man, that's cool. And I remember like searching for it because I was like, that just sounds fun. Like, chasing that like little, like I said, little dopamine hit, like, coming from a place where like I am generally like very like bubbly, optimistic person. And I have been fortunate where like I never really struggled with like depression or anxiety, things like that. I think I just like overall been an even-keeled person. But when I first started to experience that postpartum with the twins, I was like, oh man, like it gave me a sense of just like empathy for people who have those types of struggles and people who have struggles for, their entire life.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I felt empathetic to that genre of people. And in my desire to find some joy, I was like, let me find some buckets. I'm easy to please. I'm a simple girl. I just want a lot of coffee. Anyways, so there was nowhere in the area that was doing it. And so I just kind of like tucked it away in my brain. And I was like, that would be so cool. If I ever get to the opportunity to dream a dream and have my own coffee shop, we're going to have buckets. And I remember thinking like, oh, we should do it. And then I was like, time had passed. And so I'm like letting doubt creep in. I was like, well, maybe that's stupid. Like, that's just what I want.
Because they're more expensive than a cup.
Yeah, exactly.
To buy them.
Financially, you're paying for a plastic bucket, but people like it anyways. So I just, I'm just going to do it. If no one buys it, who cares? Like, I did it. It made me happy.
What happened?
It went crazy. It went viral on TikTok. And I think that's what really kind of turned around our notoriety, or just people knowing that we're an established business.
And different.
Yeah. It was truly about being able to touch people and touch that 10-minute experience. So if we don't set ourselves apart in some regard, you'll get left behind. If we are too slow or understaffed and things start to get messy, that is going to make an impression on the customers who walk in or the desktop members in the back. Mm-hmm. It's all about impression, really. Not all about. A good bit of it is about impression, though, because you remember how people make you feel or how a place made you feel, probably more than if your vanilla latte was as good as it was last time. It's all about human connection, how you feel when you enter versus how you leave, and feeling welcomed.
You have something else that you're about to launch on the public. What is that?
So we are rolling out our canning machines, and we're so excited. It's been like a little nervous to like get it out,
I heard this one and I thought, I grew up on a farm, so canning was actually jarring.
Yeah.
Putting stuff in jar with a lid.
Let
on
me
top.
specify.
Yeah, so specify canning. What are you going to can?
We're going to can everything, anything. No, so it's going to be like a soda can, essentially.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our iced lattes, cold brew. We're going to do some refreshers for the summer, things like that. And it's going to be that opportunity so you can come get your drink in a can, or if you want to buy a 4-pack for the weekend, or you're going down to the lake, being able to bring that coffee with you. And so it's sitting in my office, and it's just killing me, but it's really heavy. And I'm like, we need to have the time and space.
Yeah, Brandon will be here this afternoon. We'll lift it for you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So that's coming, and it's just going to be another fun way, to drink your coffee.
You said something earlier. It went viral. Mm-hmm. You're of a generation that never watched Cheers, and but what do you think has been the marketing key to your growth?
I would say knowing my target audience and pouring into the marketing in those vessels.
Okay, and
my generation is all social media.
Yep.
It's influencers. Honestly, it's all social media at this point.
Yeah.
That is, just posting and having aesthetically pleasing. Like, it's unfortunate that we're in a world where things have to look nice for people to like it. And that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be how you judge your friends. But when it comes to material objects or spaces, it's all aesthetics.
Sure.
So creating a marketing vision that comes up with like fun stuff every month, and you're doing creative pictures that are beautiful, or like videos that, a lot of people lean into like the funny, and I'm just not a funny marketing girl. I just let's just go pretty. But just like hitting the TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and things like that, because that's where people get their news. Not that they should. That's where people get their news. That's how people stay connected. That is the new magazine or newspaper.
Sure.
Billboard.
That was a reference to a billboard that I took out, for us, and I'm sure some people have seen it, but not as many as I thought. So that'll be ending in 2 months.
But it was a great, you gotta shoot your shot. It was cheap.
It was cheap.
I mean, honestly,
why not? Yeah, let's try it.
It was a really good deal.
It was a great deal. Yeah.
But yeah, just knowing your audience and leaning into it, and knowing the generations coming below me, that's who I need to shift to, because that is your next big market, and just being on top of who your clientele is and digging into them. So,
who do you think is the most prevalent client right now who walks in the door? Who is it?
It's millennials.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just my age bracket. Yeah.
And I know it's a lot of moms with young children who meet here to converse.
Yeah.
And get some sanity away from the house.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, a lot of what we're doing here inside the studio is a result of what you accomplished out there in the Doe.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because we think that, Dawson and I think that there are a lot of businesses who don't understand social media. My age and even younger. So probably that 45 to 65 year old age group, they know they need to be on social media, but they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to post it. They don't know how to cut it up.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we're going to be doing inside the studio is exactly that, is in a way mimicking what you did, which gave me a visual.
Yeah.
Because I would watch Jackie would show me.
You would watch it?
Jackie would show them to me. My wife would show them to me because I'm not on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we gotta get you on there.
Should be, but I get too mad at the political stuff, so I just stay off.
No, you gotta.
But I got to get over that. I know. I got to get over that. But this studio will help us get over that.
Totally.
We really want to follow your lead and give small businesses the ability to to do that. So what would we know we have canning in our future. And I'm not going to reveal yet. We'll come back and do another one when we've done the canning and we've kind of do a post-mortem on that.
Yeah. Was it good? Was it bad?
That's right. And
maybe it'll be a flop. But again, at least we did it.
You know what? We tried.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We tried. And I think that should be every business person's mantra. I'll tell a very quick story. I started a real estate company up in Town Lake in 1995. And I had been a realtor, been working, for Eagle Watch, selling their homes. It wasn't my business. I thought, I'm going to start a business up here where I own Town Lake. When the bills start coming due and the closing hadn't started happening yet, I got scared and I shut it all down from fear. About a year later, one of the ladies who was going to come on with me, Century 21 agent, she took my idea, the hometown real estate company, and she made millions.
Oh.
And I was fine with it. She was a wonderful lady.
Good,
wonderful lady.
Are we for her or against her?
For her.
Okay, great.
We were totally for her.
Way to go, girl.
Because she took this idea and said, I'm going to go do it. If you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And she came to me and asked me, and I said, go do it.
Yeah.
I'd moved on to something else at that point, but I shut it down out of fear. Would you say, did you have any fear at all in starting this?
A little. But I just, yes. Yeah, I mean, of course I had fear.
Yeah. Trepidation more than anything else. Maybe not fear, but trepidation, some angst.
Yes. Yeah, of course. What if it just continued, the history had shown an unsuccessful business.
Yeah.
And I'm coming in and providing the same services, but better. So why do I think that I'll succeed when that person didn't? And I think just remembering, but no one has experienced your vision.
Right.
Real estate agent, you're selling houses.
Yeah.
You're all providing the same service.
Right.
Essentially.
We are.
Foundation-wise. Yeah. But they haven't experienced working with you. The way you do it is going to be different than somebody else does it. And realizing that my vision and what I have to bring to the table, no one has experienced. And maybe they'll like it. You know? And I just think just having enough confidence in yourself, and you might fail. Who cares?
No one died.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they say, if you're looking at not wanting to be embarrassed or like by your peers, no one who's doing more than you will ever put you down for what you're currently doing, especially if you fail at it. Mm-hmm. So if you look to the people who have come before you or are doing what you're doing successfully, they're never going to look down on you for failing. It's the people not trying as hard that are going to think something. And who cares? Their opinion doesn't matter. You're gonna impress. They're not encouraging you. You don't need to worry about them.
Yeah.
Just worry about yourself.
What do you think has been we're 8 months in now or so. What has been your biggest success, you think?
I think our biggest success would be people knowing who we are and turning around the space. Because I think a lot of it was there wasn't a lot of recognition to there being a shop here, and now people know, and it's becoming people's spot.
I'm a little jealous. People know where the Local Doe is more than desktop co-working community.
We're going to get you up to speed.
You see, and that's why I love you. You're always thinking about others.
Yes.
Biggest failure in this process? Or I don't think there's been any failure, missed opportunity, struggle. Let's call it that. Biggest struggle.
Our biggest struggle
besides me.
No. I would say, while it's great to do it messy and just do it from the jump, I think I probably should have done a little bit more research on what needs to be done to own a business as far as making sure everything is...
Like just the nuts and bolts,
the nuts and bolts.
Yes. LLCs versus S Corps, those kind of things?
Yes, insurance, and exactly what type of business you're running, whether it's like cafe and bakery or like food service. There's a lot of like the nitty gritty that I should have done my due diligence and responsibilities to understanding it better rather than waiting until like...
The agriculture department walks in.
Right, exactly. And you're like, oh yeah, like what are you asking for? I think that was definitely where I could have done better. Like it's good to be impulsive and do your ideas and run with your gut, but also realizing that it is an actual business that requires a lot of like specifics that I should have done research on. So
You just came from the accounting, right?
I did. And you know what? It was eye-opening. It was. We have everything. It's just
organized.
Scattered. Yeah. So there was a lot of...
Accountants do that. They like things organized.
Yeah. I said, can you explain it to me another way? But it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. And it's good to have people like that and I kept trying to bring up my idea I have for June. And because she's a friend, and she said, that's great. And I want to hear about it. But right now we're talking about accounting. And I said, well, you're no fun. Okay. Back to business, But you need people like that in your life.
That's actually my personality too. That's why I married Jackie. Mm-hmm. Not the only reason I married Jackie.
The only reason.
That was one of the benefits of marrying Jackie was that, she is that write the list, check the box type of person.
Yeah.
I am think of the list.
Mm-hmm. Lose the list.
Remember some of the list, and then go do it.
Yeah.
And she's the one who finds the list and said, Dave, you forgot these 10 things.
Yes.
And fills them in for me.
Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it good.
And that's what makes it good is, so I'm the kite, she's the string.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good analogy.
So, yeah. So, last question. Mm-hmm. Who would your friends say that Brianna Irwin is?
I hope they say that I'm somebody who's kind and cares and is able to not take life too serious, but also be able to connect deeply. And I hope that I'm leaving, legacy is a big word, but an impression of somebody who truly cares and is truly in their corner, whether they want to go skydiving or become a wildflower farmer,
Yeah.
I want to be an encourager.
Well, I'm your friend, and that's how I would encourage you.
Really?
That's how I would describe you.
Oh, good. Well, thank you.
Brianna,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for sitting down across the desktop with me today.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
I had a wonderful time.